feeling stressed out right now, but I really just want to calm down and go with the flow. Just I can only do what I can, and then make the right choice with the outcome of what other people decide. So I'll explain. A couple days ago, I joined Adriana's therapy session just for 15 minutes or so, and I noticed Adriana run over to the hand sanitizer dispenser, get a big handful of the hand sanitizer foam, and stick it right in her mouth. And I told Adriana right away to spit it out. And the therapist did try to block her, but in my opinion, she could have redirected her a lot quicker, because Adriana had the chance to make many attempts to get a handful of the sanitizer, and the therapist, I felt like, could have redirected her and moved her away from the situation, but that's just my opinion. But I don't think she should have been able to get to it. But I know things like that can happen. Sometimes it happens when I'm watching her in the lobby. Now I'm really vigilant, but Adriana's really fast, and these hand dispensers, these hand sanitizer dispensers are everywhere, and that makes it really difficult, because they're all over the hallways, the lobby, the little rooms that they meet in, and I guess they can take those down in the rooms, and they've been doing that. But anyway, I said to the therapist, I said, "Oh wow, like, it's just so concerning when she does this, getting into the hand sanitizer and ingesting it like this." And she totally agreed, and she told me it happens all the time. So immediately my heart sank, and I said to her, a little, once we got back to the room, I kept thinking about it, and I said to her, I wonder if that could be the cause of the little seizure episodes she's been having at school and at therapy. I wonder if it could be affecting her mind. And she said, "Oh yeah, it's certainly possible, because it does have, a high alcohol content in it, and I of course know there's chemicals and who knows what in hand sanitizer." Anyways, I was very disturbed by that. I thought she sounded a little too casual. I thought it should have been reported up. If it's happening all the time, it should have already been sent up the chain so that they could figure out a plan to keep her away from it. So anyways, I go home at night. I told JR about it. He starts looking up information about what you're supposed to do if you ingest hand sanitizer, and it's no joke. You're supposed to take it seriously, and it can be harmful, and it can have neurological effects. So that freaked me out and really upset me. So I've been having kind of a hard time sleeping. Well, actually, last night I did fine, because I had talked to the director. But the first night that it happened, I had a hard time sleeping. The next day, I emailed the director, told her my concerns, and was just laid it out very clearly, like, I don't feel comfortable with Adriana coming in if she can get at the hand sanitizer. So the director actually talked to me yesterday. We got together, and we sat in the lobby, and we talked about it, and she gave me like a nice little list of these things that they could do to make sure that they could keep Adriana and Aaliyah away from the hand sanitizer dispensers. And she had a bunch of ideas, and she sounded very confident, and she said, "This is very serious. We're going to take it very seriously." And so I really appreciated that. She said they were going to, bring the team together, and they were even going to collect data on it, like how often, Adriana or Aaliyah attempted to go get hand sanitizer. And yeah, just it sounded very really reassuring. Well, today I arrived at therapy, and both girls were covered in pee. They had, like, their pants were wet. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm, bringing him into the lobby, trying to keep him from sitting down. And it's so cold in this car, so if I look like I'm shivering, that's why. But so oh, what was I saying? So yeah, so I'm in the lobby. I'm trying to keep Adriana from sitting down, and she keeps running around doing her thing. So I was a little stressed out anyway, and so by the time the music therapist came out a little late. I'm a little stressed. We get back to the bathrooms. The therapists were waiting outside for us, and I was inside the bathroom with the girls. And I sent Adriana out because Aaliyah was done first, and there's 2 therapists in the hall, 2 music therapists. Very soon after, I hear one of the music therapists say, oh, Adriana needs some water. She just drank, or, she just, got the hand sanitizer. She needs a drink. And I'm just like, okay, really? And then Aaliyah runs out, and I hear them say, like, oh, now Aaliyah, oh no, Aaliyah, don't rub that on your face, because that's what Aaliyah loves to do, is rub it on her face. And I'm just sitting there thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I would have thought that Bippen sent out a text or at least something to let people know, hey, this is serious, the mom is concerned, we need to be careful. While we're developing this plan, we're all going to be getting together soon to talk about, sorry, I'm so cold, to talk about my plan. And, I figured that they'd be aware, and they'd be especially more vigilant in front of me, at the very least. And, so I told the therapist, I told him, I'm really concerned about this issue with the hand sanitizer and Adriana being able to get to it. And I told him I even think that it might be the reason for some of Adriana's, like, mini seizures, or these episodes, these neurological issues she's having. And neither of them said a word. They didn't say anything. They just stood there. So I just continued getting the kids ready. I'm going to turn on the car in the heat. I just continued then getting the kids sorry. I just continued getting the kids ready for their therapy, getting them dressed, because it was kind of chaos in there. Did I lose my train of thought? I guess they were both in the hall at that point. So yeah, so they left. So I told them my concerns. They didn't say anything, and then took off for therapy. I went to the car. I wanted to talk to JR. JR seems kind of, I don't know, he just seems like he's kind of done talking about the situation. I know he's concerned, but I think I must be stressing him out or something, because I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like I'm more stressed about this, I guess, and it makes me wonder if I'm overreacting or losing it on some level. I just feel I feel keyed up, and I feel disrespected, because maybe it's natural to not think it's that serious. Like, maybe it's natural to think, a little hand sanitizer, like, if it were that toxic, it wouldn't be so available. We wouldn't be using it on our hands. So maybe that's why they're not really reacting very strongly to it or taking it very seriously. Well, actually, no. The first therapist, with Adriana, the night I first realized this was an issue back in their therapy, even mentioned that she thought it could be causing the seizure episodes. So she obviously knew that it could be serious. she said, "Oh yeah, I could, that." She's like, "That might be it." She didn't seem like she thought it was no big deal. So I kind of expected the music therapist to say, "Oh yeah, we agree this is concerning. Well, let's take this up the chain and I kind of thought Bibbin would have already talked to them, but it seems clear she hasn't. But they could have said like, yeah, we'll figure out a plan to keep them from getting into it. Or they could have, if they've never done that before, that could have been the opportunity to have told me, oh, well, this is the first time we've seen this. We'll have to really be careful, and figure out a way to prevent that. But you just want to hear something. If I'm telling you I'm really concerned, I'd like to hear something. I don't want to feel like this is a frequent thing that happens and you just have Adriana drink water when she does it to wash it down or to dilute it. I don't like thinking that this is like a common thing you do. And so I talked to JR, and after a frustrating conversation for both of us, I think, I emailed Bibbin again, and we'll see if she wants to, talk to me again in the lobby, or what she might want to do. I wrote a nice email, but it's also like very honest. I share my concern, and oh gosh, I'm a combination of cold but also really anxious. I do feel like a lot of anxiety about this, and it's disappointing because this place has been kind of a safe haven in my mind, at least, because I knew the kids were with someone one-on-one, and I just really believe that these people are very trained and they're professional, and it's a lot better than the company we had before, and there's a lot of checks and balances here, and I felt good about it. And I still feel good about it on some level, but I'm also just disappointed and concerned about this situation. And I just want to feel like the kids are going to be safe here, especially Adriana. I just want to feel like she's not going to be swallowing a lot of hand sanitizer while she's here. I emailed the school an email today just to let everybody know, hey, this is a concern, just to let you know this is happening at the kids therapy, and look out for it. It can, it could be a serious problem. And they all emailed me back and let me know, like, hey, we haven't seen this, but we'll be vigilant, we'll be on the lookout. And I really appreciate that. I really just appreciate, well, I'm glad to hear that it hasn't been something that she's doing a lot, but my kids have really sensitive minds. Their brains are very sensitive. And JR works extremely hard to cook them amazing meals, from scratch. They're organic. He reads every ingredient to know that these are the best possible dishes that he could come up with. The most healing for the gut, the most healing for the brain. And it just is unnerving that you could be taking your kids somewhere where possibly all evening, I mean, the first therapist said all the time, those were her words, where supposedly your kid is ingesting hand sanitizer all the time. And I'm just like, my nerves are just running thin. And, JR and I are talking like, what if they don't really fix this to our satisfaction? What if we don't feel like we can trust them? Are we leaving? Doing therapy in home again? And then they won't be getting the speech, the music, the OT. it's such a great place here, but if they're gonna leave, this sounds so crazy, but if they're gonna leave poison out in dispensers all over the halls and all over the lobby and rooms and make it so that kids can get to it and ingest it and not really take care to prevent it, then I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing here. I had suggested non-toxic sanitizer, and she didn't get back to me about that part, but she had like a plan that sounded solid, and she sounded really concerned, and she's a wonderful person, the director. But I think the team needs to know, even if you can't implement a bunch of strategies immediately, and even if you have to take a little time to develop a plan, like I think everybody should know, hey, like at least here's somewhere to start. I just have to roll with it and see how she responds. This is just life. It's just the way life goes. Isn't life just unpredictable? And it's just, life is often out of your control, and you just have to do what's right and let the chips fall where they may. But I've had a hard time with it. I've been having a hard time emotionally with it, and I wish it's something that I didn't have to think about, but there's a lot of things probably that I wish I didn't have to think about, so that he is nice. Feels good. The kid's teacher is taking a leave of absence, and we just got the email as I was on my way to pick the kids up. We just got her text, and it said that she needed to do this for her family, and she'll be gone at least after next week, which is the week before Christmas break. She'll be gone the rest of the year, which is crazy. You know, it's I'm smiling, but I'm actually not thrilled. I thought we would have her for the rest of the year and next year too, and I kind of like the stability of knowing her and feeling like, okay, the kids have her for 3 years. I like the continuity. I like that the kids could be used to somebody and used to a particular classroom and have the same classmates for, or similar classmates, for 3 years. I thought that was nice. But yeah, having a different teacher, that's a big deal, and it could be a good thing. I was never really close to their teacher where I felt like I could really share a lot, or but I like her, and yeah, it'll be interesting. I got a text from Mom while I was starting this video, and it said, what did it say? It said, does that mean the kids won't have school for the rest of the year? I'm like, I don't think that's what that means. I mean, that would be crazy, but yeah. But I don't think the school district is allowed to not provide education. I think that's kind of part of goes along with paying your taxes and like children having a right to a free education and all that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the school has to, the school district and the city has to provide that, so that's how that works. But it is weird to think about that change. I just got an email back from Bippen. I don't want to sound like a nag, but I don't want to be a nag, and I don't want to freak people out around me or create, you know, not saying that I'm creating it or that I should take responsibility for that, but basically like, for lack of another word that I can think of, create tension between me and therapists or anybody. I want these to be great relationships. I want them to be good ones. So it's the last thing I'm looking for is more stress or issues. It's just that it seemed like an important enough problem to make sure that everybody takes it seriously and like gives their best effort, because these hand sanitizing stations are not going away anytime soon. I think they're here for good. I think even if like, COVID was gone tomorrow, I don't think the hand sanitizing stations are going anywhere. I think it's just a different world, and everybody is going to be more careful about germs and sickness. Well, who knows? There's like sick people, in the lobby every day. But still, I still think things have changed at least somewhat. So I'm like, if we're going to bring the kids here, if the kids are going to spend Monday through Friday here every weekday for 3 hours a day until they're 18, they're 10 now. I do not want them every single day to be ingesting a bunch of hand sanitizer. Sue me, right? I just feel like it's a door of uncertainty and fear that I'd like to be able to close, because I'd like to be able to stress about other things. I'd like to be able to think about other things. I'd like to be able to solve other problems. And I like this place so much, and I don't want to feel like it could go away, or we'd have to leave. It's not going anywhere. I don't want to feel like we might have to go away. So, that's it. I'll give an update when when all this is solved. I'm sure it all will be solved, but my confidence just doesn't feel very high. My brain tells me it'll be solved. My body, my stress is telling me everything's falling apart. So, we'll see.